At one end of the quiet forest, where the leaves danced in the breeze and the birds sang their melodious tunes, lived a small turtle named Salwa. Salwa was beloved among the animals, known for her gentleness and calmness. However, she was slow in her movements, walking with steady, deliberate steps, never rushing anything, and believing that everything has its time. Despite her slowness, Salwa never felt inferior. Instead, she enjoyed every moment, observing the details of life around her and appreciating the simplest things: the shade of a tree, a breeze, or the scent of a flower. On the other side of the forest lived a rabbit named Sami. Sami was extremely fast, hopping nimbly here and there, attracting attention wherever he went. His speed made him feel proud, and perhaps even a little arrogant. He believed that no one could keep up with him, and that he was always in the lead. One morning, the animals gathered in the forest square where a long race was held, spanning hills and valleys, passing between trees and along the banks of a river. The event was exciting for everyone, as the forest hadn't seen a race of this kind for a long time. The names of the competitors were recorded, and among them was Sami the rabbit, as expected. The surprise came when Salwa the tortoise stepped forward and asked to join. The animals were amazed, and some began whispering, "How could a slow tortoise participate in such a race?" But Salwa didn't care. She had a desire to try, not to prove anything to anyone, but to try something new. When the race began, Sami took off like an arrow, running and jumping until he disappeared from view. Salwa, however, began to move slowly, lifting her feet and striding confidently. The road was long and tiring, with the trees casting long shadows on the ground and the wind playing with their branches. Sami, after making so much progress, felt tired and bored. Confident that he wouldn't be defeated, he sat under a large tree to rest for a while. The air was fresh, and the sounds of nature were soothing, and his eyes fell asleep without him noticing. Meanwhile, Salwa continued to advance. Despite feeling exhausted, she didn't stop. She looked ahead, focused on every step, and relied on her inner strength. She passed by the river, crossed the wooden bridge, and then patiently climbed the hills until she approached the finish line. When Sami woke up, he looked around in amazement. The sun had moved in the sky, and more time had passed than he'd expected. He quickly jumped up and ran with all his might toward the finish, but when he arrived, he saw something he'd never expected. Salwa had arrived before him. She arrived tired, visibly exhausted, but she was happy. She wasn't looking to win, just to keep going to the finish. Yet, she found herself standing at the top, not just in the race, but in the hearts of those who watched her persevere without faltering. From that day on, the animals no longer looked down on any creature because of its appearance or speed. They learned that perseverance can overcome speed, that patience precedes strength, and that self-confidence is the path to success. As for Salwa, she continued her life as she always had, walking slowly but steadily, seeing the world around her with the gaze of someone who knows that the best things come to those who wait.